Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today I'm going to kind of whimsically throw together a pattern that I think will turn out kind of neat. So we're using the same swatch of colors because we still have some of the string left over. And I'm going to put the light blue in the very center, followed by the darker blue outside of it, like that. We can zoom in so we can see. I'm going to kind of show you as if we didn't know it would work. How you could start off a pattern yourself like this. Right, and then the lighter one would come out here, and our darker one is out here. Now, we don't have to do the whole thing. Well, let's at least put this in so you can see it first. But we only have to really fill in the right-hand side. Alright. So I want it to be elongated by 2 diamonds, but the diamonds are like the regular arrowhead size. Like that. So those just kind of follow along. The next color after purple is this bright pinkish color. So that's gonna stay to the outside of this. And just so you can kind of see what these diamond things look like, I'll throw this in real quick. Right, so it kind of extends it outwards. This one will come in and do the same thing. And we can go in and fill in the spaces. Since we can see where the path is, it's real easy to just kind of follow it along and know where that string is going. Right? So now this dark blue, it bounces here because of the way the pink went, right? So that puts it right in the middle of these. And then it comes out here and we can't see what happens to it after that. And the light blue came out to up here. And again, we can't see what's happening yet. We need the next color. So after the pink is the red. I know it's kind of close to the real thing, but let's make it more red. I keep having trouble identifying it from the orange. So. Just kind of plotting it out as we go along. All right, let's throw in our diamonds. It's kind of exciting. This is a pattern I have not done before. But it shouldn't be too difficult to pull off, so orange is out here. Hey, Minutecraft, hello, welcome. I didn't mention this when I was coming in, but I am actually live streaming, so YouTube members can actually watch the progress of things like this. while it's actually being made. So one of my members has joined in. All right. And I can't get too distracted because I'll end up making a mistake. You've seen me make mistakes recently, so I'm really trying not to do that. All right. So it looks like this pattern is going to be a lot of the hot colors again. That wasn't necessarily my intention, but it's okay. We can find some other patterns later on to do cold colors with. So 2 diamonds at the end. There we go. Now if we take a look at the pink, if we follow that string, it will come to where the orange has changed directions, which means that the pink color had to come this way here. And then you can see it comes out and we lose track of where it was. Similarly, this purple would have come out and have gone through in here. And you can see, because we colored in the other paths, you can see the way that it travels. Now it comes out there through the middle of those 2 strings, and we don't know where it goes. The light blue, can we see any more of that? Yes. So the light blue has to bounce off the red, bounce off the purple, bounces off the red again off the purple, and it comes to out here. And yeah, leads us to our next color, yellow. We can trace where the yellow goes this way based on the fact that everything else is colored in. That gives us that. So now we can bring this through. Kind of exciting. So this is a lot like a regular arrowhead. It's just being extended because we're putting 2 sets of diamonds as opposed to just the normal one. I don't know how this will finish when we hit to the top. But I guess we're finding out real soon. Oh. There it is. So it ends evenly right on that yellow. That's pretty cool. So now the purple, we can see where it goes because we have more colors in. We can kind of trace it. Gets to there, we don't know. The pink just kind of came straight through. The red will bounce off that yellow, go to the middle here. This in the middle, because it's mirrored, we know it has to be red. If there's 2 reds coming in, the knot itself has to be red. So that's kind of a given. The orange comes through. We know it's going to change direction right here, right? Whatever the next color is going to bounce it in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, even though it sort of wasn't shown like we did with the other ones, but we'll get to it. So after the yellow is green, that's here. We can trace it down to the center by following the paths that are left for it. And that goes to there. Perfect. I'm guessing that this is going to be a pretty easy bracelet to make compared to some of the other elongated arrowheads that we've done. But it's going to be one of those kind of patterns where it would be real easy to make a mistake if you're not paying attention. So I don't want it to give the wrong impression like this is some kind of beginner friendly thing or something. It really is not. But that's okay. So after the green is the light blue, and talk about something to like that will prove whether or not we're doing this right. This light blue needs to follow this path and end up as that center dot that we had when we started. So following it down, and there it is. It lined up with the light blue, and that goes all the way to the middle. Next is the dark blue. We can start from where it is down here. So I'm kind of doing this a little bit more as if I was a beginner to this. And let's put in the rest of our light blue so that you can kind of get a gist of what it's like making patterns the way I make patterns. So, whoa. Talk about being outside of the box. I don't know where these strings are necessarily. Here, let's bring in this red. Right, so the third one, so we can go yellow, orange, red, and then it's green, and then the light blue. Then this dark blue. That can be the last one. And now that we have all that other filled in, we can trace where the pinkish color goes. And the purple. Missed a yellow there. Okay, so now we filled in the whole top right corner. So now all we have to do is select that. Make sure we have it all. Of course, I'm using guidelines that makes it completely easier. We copy and paste it and flip it over to the other side. Go to the layer tab and we anchor the floating layer, and then we merge it down. We can get rid of our swatch. And now we can take the whole top half, copy and paste, and flip it on the horizontal line. Again, you have to go to the layer, anchor it, and merge it down. And now we're left with one image. And yeah, it's a different way of actually elongating a arrowhead, and I think it's going to look actually pretty cool. We should have some fun with this. Before I go, I just want to thank my YouTube members for making this possible. Without you guys' help, I wouldn't be able to afford the string and some of this other stuff that goes into making this. So thank you guys very much for that. I will be back tomorrow with having made this, and we'll see what kind of lessons I learned along the way. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool. If you haven't already, hit the like button, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.